All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to prove Gervonta Davis was not ducked by Shakur Stevenson, even though this fight is not happening next. This coming out of the mouth of or revelations from Gervonta Davis's family about the negotiations and why it was Shakur did something that many people thought signaled a duck. And that was not asking Eddie Hearn of Matchroom to request the fight from Gervonta Davis. Let's talk about that.
Nothing, man. Shakur ain't said nothing, and Tank ain't said nothing. You got a snippet of an interview with Eddie Hearn saying that he been instructed to look around for some fighters or do whatever, and Eddie trying to work it how he trying to work it. They specifically told Eddie don't call Tank because they know he got a bad. Tank don't like him, and when Tank don't like you, Tank don't like you. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. I'm telling you, man, when Tank don't like you, he don't like you.
All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. It's the fight I want to see. I am definitely in favor of YouTube channels, Twitter pages, boxing fans in general talking about fights that they want to have made, even though it seems like they may not happen for a little ways out, because public pressure eventually, many times, unless you're dealing with somebody like Canelo Alvarez, will push these fighters to get into the ring together. And that is the case with this fight with Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Unfortunately, there is a lot of half listening, half truth telling that is framing both Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson as ducks who do not want to fight each other. However, one of the pieces of information that have come out about Shakur Stevenson that would point people in the direction of Shakur is ducking has been explained by Gervonta Davis's family. And it makes a lot of sense if you go back and pay attention to what has happened in the past and understand that Shakur Stevenson is not signed to Eddie Hearn, and Shakur Stevenson is miles away from stupid. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does make a huge difference to the channel. Shout out to Barbara D. Shout out to Matty Yole, and shout out to everybody that checks out the channel over there at MH Blackwell, where we talk about other things not related to boxing. But let's get into this. Cousin of Gervonta Davis came on the channel. I should have played the video already, or the audio a little bit earlier, and the interview is up on the channel. And he talked about the things going on around the fight with Gervonta and Shakur. One of the things that he said about Shakur Stevenson was to explain why Shakur Stevenson would not ask Eddie Hearn to negotiate a fight with Gervonta Davis. And the answer to why that was very simple. Gervonta Davis does not like Eddie Hearn. If you send Eddie Hearn to try to negotiate with Gervonta Davis, you're going to get a no, because Gervonta does not deal with Eddie Hearn. So if Shakur Stevenson is looking for a fight with Gervonta Davis, the last person that Shakur Stevenson should send to Gervonta Davis or Al Heyman to work with Gervonta Davis is Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn has been in the past, had many back and forths with Gervonta Davis about other fights, the Devin Haney fight specifically, claims being made that they had tried to offer him they had offered him $20 million to fight Devin Haney, which was not true. You have just all kind of things around circumstances with Eddie Hearn and Gervonta Davis that make these dudes not necessarily like each other very much, or at least Gervonta Davis not like him very much. And then, of course, you have the whole Turkey al-Sheikh thing and all the pressure around the things being thrown at Gervonta Davis around supposedly asking for 2 Ferraris from Turkey al-Sheikh to even talk about making a fight with Devin Haney. So Gervonta Davis is not going to and is not interested in dealing with Eddie Hearn. So Shakur Stevenson not asking Eddie Hearn to deal with Gervonta Davis is a smart move on top of by Shakur Stevenson. And it definitely does not point towards a duck. I 100% agree with what Gervonta Davis's family is saying on it. The truth of the matter is that these fights do not move on the time scale that YouTube works on. YouTube channels wake up in the morning or they get off their job and they do it in the afternoon. Whatever we do, we look at the information that's out there. We put a video out for the day or 2 videos out for the day, and we push and continue the conversation going on about boxing. That is not the time frame or the speed at which Gervonta Davis, Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn, Shakur Stevenson, James Prince would be operating at to get a fight done. It does not work like that for them. It is going to take time for that type of thing to get done. And Shakur Stevenson, let me remind everybody, is not signed to Eddie Hearn. Not signed to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is not actually negotiating fights with him for him anyway. Not at this point in time. So I doubt very much that Shakur Stevenson actually has him going out negotiating fights for him. More saying, hey, what fights can you get me? And Eddie Hearn may be doing his due diligence and saying, hey, man, if we get Shakur signed with us, can I make this fight? Can I make that fight? Can I make this other fight, right? Can I make fight A? Can I make fight B? Can I make fight C? Figure all that out. Tell Shakur, this is what we would do with you. Is the money for these fights going to work out? Honestly, it doesn't even sound in the interview that Eddie Hearn gave like he's 100% committed to signing Shakur Stevenson to Matchroom, much less Shakur Stevenson being 100% committed to signing with Matchroom and asking Eddie Hearn to negotiate fights for him. So the whole thing to me is just stay busy conversation. It is it's words coming out of the mouth of a promoter at a fight with a microphone in his face from journalists. I'm not putting a whole lot of weight into what Eddie Hearn said. And again, I don't think that this is a duck from Shakur Stevenson or a duck from Gervonta Davis. I just think that the fight is not going to take place next. That Gervonta is probably, and I could be 100% wrong, probably going to fight Isaac Cruz or the winner of Isaac Cruz, Rayo Valenzuela in their next fight. The only question to me is if that fight gets made, will that fight be at 140 or will that fight be at 135, seeing as both Rayo and Isaac Cruz can probably make that weight, but they're out there trying to get a championship that's available to them. And there were more openings for championships at 140 than there was at 135. But at the end of the day, we'll see if Gervonta goes up there to fight one of them, or they go down to fight Gervonta. But I am almost positive Gervonta is going to continue to campaign primarily at 135 pounds, and that eventually he and Shakur will match up when the dust is settled. But I think that this is a fairly solid proof that Shakur Stevenson is not ducking. He's not avoiding an offer at this point in time. And at the end of the day, you don't even know who he's going to fight next. All this stuff may turn around and Gervonta fight Shakur Stevenson, and we get what we want next. I don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, I don't believe it's a duck from either one of these guys. That's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.